I kind of wanted to follow the same format as the last update because I thought that was really informative for you all. So first thing I want to cover is economic development, an update on that. We have now met with the Foundation's Economic Transformation Committee regarding efforts of the EDC as far as the restructuring, the current goals and focus, as well as site development. The Economic Transformation Committee would like to continue discussions that has been directly expressed by the chair of that committee as well as another member on that committee. So we'll work to try to engage them on a periodic basis with the EDC board meetings, which is a good sign considering, we want to engage all of our appropriate stakeholders as we try to move forward with site development. I've worked with the county administrator and 2 EDC board members so far to vet 2 consultant options for the EDC's path forward during the vacancy of the executive director. Options will be presented to the EDC voting members on September 14th, so that's this coming Monday. Update on CARES funding efforts to expend and comply with Department of Labor and Industry requirements. Staff is working to implement measures relating to Department of Labor industry standards. Finance and Administration, Mr. Bryant, is working feverishly to actively develop compliance plans for the new requirements. We've already completed the initial phase 1 training for all staff. We're now moving on to developing the infectious disease requirement plan, which is the next phase of that. We're also working to apply potentially retroactive hazard duty or gratuity pay. We're looking at the feasibility of that based on the guidelines of CARES. We will see what can be applied, looking at what we can do for our police, EMS, and potentially solid waste employees. The county is also looking to do the same thing. So Mr. Bryant has been working with Ms. Adcock and also researching what other localities have done with regards to gratuity pay, potentially across the board, or also hazard duty pay. So we will be sure to keep you apprised of that. Active city grants. The Historic Main Street Revitalization Planning Grant proposals have now been scored. We are working to convene the management team. The blight assessment has been completed by Planning and Development Services for a baseline submission to the Department of Housing and Community Development. And an initial remittance for $3,000 was sent in for the preliminary planning expenses to date per DHCD's request. They want to make sure that you periodically are drawing down funds to remain compliant and that they are able to report positive progress to the Department of Housing and Urban Development since they're federal funds. We've also got the Joint Opportunity Zone grant that is active with the city and the county. There's no real status update to share at this time. With the Jackson Street grant, I'm working with CHA on a conceptual rendering and some design work to close out the planning grant's final report and to work on advancing a construction improvement grant. As I previously mentioned to you all, the planning grant is slated to be completed September 30th. For the ARC grant for Drone Zone, there's no update to report at this time. And with regards to the Discovery Center, there's no major update other than that the city continues to process remittances that we received from the nonprofit. Active projects, this is something that I think is important for everyone to hear. VDOT Smart Scale projects, which include the Paper Trail pedestrian bridge, have been submitted, and the East Madison Avenue sidewalk have been submitted. And that includes a lot of signalized intersection changes and crosswalks to also enhance it for multimodal safety. VDOT Transportation Alternative Projects, that covers Maple Avenue Phase 2. The new water line has been pressure tested and disinfected per VDH guidelines. The services have all been reconnected without interruption to any businesses, and demo of actual existing sidewalks will begin on September 8th, on or around September 8th. Maple Avenue Phase 3, VEST survey will be completing the VDOT required supplemental survey by the end of next week. Once this is completed, the final plans can be provided to VDOT for approval with advertisement for bids to follow. With regards to VDOT State of Good Repair, a lot of that is our paving dollars. The Allegheny Avenue paving work is scheduled to begin this month. As you all may know, I forwarded you all a communication that it's actually now a week behind due to weather delays. So it was targeted to be the 14th. Now I believe it will begin on the 21st. And then we have the Thacker Avenue sidewalk improvements. I know when Ms. Hammond was here from VDOT, speaking on that particular project, which is sort of the plank sidewalk that is near Walmart. It was not considered a very highly desirable project by VDOT due to a lot of the cost involved and a lot of the design work that would be necessary. Staff was then, and the city engineer was given the direction to look at how we could value engineer it and do the work in-house to reduce any liability and also improve the safety of that sidewalk. So they've reviewed the current conditions in the field and determined that the appropriate value engineering solution is to construct a concrete sidewalk to replace the existing 320-foot stretch of deteriorated boardwalk. No retaining walls will be needed, and concrete will be provide a solid base for the ground conditions that exist in lieu of driving post into the ground that is directly over top of the concrete culvert. This will actually be completed by city staff, so it will take a little longer to get done, but we will be doing it in-house. And then the EQ basin, which is a required project as part of our consent order. We're starting to do some preparatory work on that as the consent order is slated to be signed on September 24th. We've gotten draft RFP language for some of the engineering requirements and just what we need to include as far as scope of work, so we can get ready to advertise that proposal, request for proposals, as soon as the ink is put on the paper for the consent order. And city paving for fiscal year 20/21. City operations, CHA, and I have discussed the paving list and trying to maximize our dollars and using an approach where we're targeting the ones that are in need of immediate repair, as well as also looking at the ones that are in fair condition and starting to try to target those with also repairs that are proven and lasting, so that we don't always end up in costly paving, so that we can kind of stretch that as well. So, and that's something that I've discussed with the mayor at length, and we will probably be looking at doing $50,000 of slurry seal with, in conjunction of getting recommendations from CHA on the streets that would be best suited for that. And a lot of those would be local residential. And in talking with VDOT, VDOT has actually been using slurry seal for over 30 years now. And there's quite a few excellent contractors that they've recommended. And that is all I have for my update at this time. Is there any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Very good. Very good.